And then, so I just went from scrubbing dishes at the catering company to 20K a month sort of profit now.
And that's pounds, right?
That's pounds.
So from scrubbing dishes to now earning 40,000 Australian dollars a month, 10,000 Australian dollars a week after scrubbing dishes. That's pretty cool, man. Hello and welcome to Student Success Stories. This is episode 12. My name is Will. I'm one of the co-founders here at Freedom Club. I have the pleasure of interviewing Jamie today.
Hi, guys.
So for those that don't know, Student Success Stories, the name explains it. I've been traveling around Australia, now the world, because we are currently in Dubai interviewing Freedom Club's most successful students. The idea is for them to share their story, their struggles, their successes, in hopes that it motivates someone, inspires someone to either get into e-commerce in the first place, or maybe you're stuck, you hear this, you listen to this, and you go, hey, I can do this. So as I do in all the episodes, I want to give you a little bit of a teaser. Now, Jamie is from the UK. Jamie has had outstanding results. He's actually one of our first students, believe it or not, when we launched about 3 years ago. Now, mate, before we get into things, tell me, what has been your best week since getting into this industry?
Yeah, hell of a question. You've asked at the right time as well, I think, just off the back of obviously Black Friday that's just passed. If we were to take that, the Monday through Sunday of Black Friday, including Cyber Monday. Yeah, about 17, 18 GB profit. Yeah,
wow.
So 17, 18 grand profit, which was great. But I mean, I think the best month for us was, so it was July of year one. We hit, it was over 50 grand in profit,
Okay, so it's insane. Honestly, those numbers are insane. So for those Aussies that are listening, pounds to the Australian dollar is about double, right? So that best week would be how many Australian dollars profit?
Yeah, about 100, 100K.
So 100K profit in 1 month, and his best week was?
Just individual week. Obviously, about the most recent Black Friday last week was about 18 grand GB, so 30.
Okay, so $36,000 profit. Australian dollars. That's just insane for a week.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Okay, absolutely incredible. So the teaser's done. Now let's find out how Jamie got to this position. First question, mate. I want to get to know you a little bit further. Now, Jamie and myself have actually met up in Dubai and playing paddle. We win a lot, actually. Jamie is a very good paddle player, if anyone's wondering. And we've been having a lot of fun. Yeah. He's a really good bloke. So, mate, how are you feeling right now? Because I know that talking on camera can be a bit nervy.
Yeah, good. Yeah, pretty good. Little bit nervous. But yeah, pretty good. Obviously, we've been trying to get this booked in for a little while now. Obviously, I moved out here earlier this year, so I've been here a little bit through the past sort of few months, and obviously we were going to do this in May, I think, and then good to finally get it in now. But good to be here out in Dubai, sunny Dubai. Can't complain. Looking forward to a little chat.
Yeah, me too, man. It's pretty amazing because like now Freedom Club is completely international. And most of our students now are in Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. And that's why we're in Dubai. As you know that I live in Dubai. Now, Jamie has the privilege or the blessing, I guess, to be able to move to Dubai. So I think this is really cool, man. This is the first international success story interview, man. It's really cool.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, as I say, buzzing to be here. I didn't think Dubai was necessarily on the agenda, at least when I started Freedom. But as you say, just a big journey to get here, and just really glad to be here.
Okay, awesome, brother. So let's start from the beginning, okay? Just so the viewers can get to know you a little bit better. So, mate, I know you're from the UK. Tell us a bit, I guess, about your childhood, schooling.
Yeah, I think I had a not standard upbringing, but like a very, very lucky sort of upbringing in the UK. Grew up in London, born in London, grew up there until I was about 8 or 9 years old. And then, relocated with the family, obviously, back to, down to Sussex. Okay. Which is, I'm sure you're probably not familiar.
I mean, I've heard of Sussex, for sure.
Yeah. So, no, just like sort of like a bit of a, countryside down south, about an hour's south of London. And that's where I, spent sort of my main sort of childhood years. And family is still there to this day. I then went to school. I went to a local prep school, primary school. And from there, I went to like a boarding school after that, for like closer to London.
Okay. And how old are you when you went to the boarding school?
I was 13. But I'd done like 1 year of boarding from prep school
Okay.
when I was like 12 to 13. So it kind of kept me in a pretty good stead.
Okay.
For that. And then, yeah, I spent 5 years boarding at the school. It was like near London. Before, I finished that up when I was 18. That was 2017, I think. And then, took a year out, went to uni, did, all of that stuff.
Okay, because look, there's a reason I'm asking this. I mean, I also want to get to know you. But the thing is getting into e-commerce, it's a really beautiful thing because anyone can do it. And people come from all different walks of life. They've been educated in different ways. So I guess I want to know like how you did in school, how you did in high school, how you did in university. Like what were your natural abilities, you know? Like, because it's like some people think that you need to have marketing experience or graphic design experience or whatever it is. So what were your pros and weaknesses going through school?
No, good question. I think... in terms of like academic side of things, I think I was always just kind of like middle of the road.
The average guy.
Your average guy, but like always worked pretty hard. That was a pretty consistent like
always
theme.
been a hard worker.
Yeah, I mean like, I wouldn't say like, extraordinary, but always applied myself, was keen on my grades.
Yeah.
I remember, putting up some big weeks and months obviously in prep for exams and things. So always worked pretty hard, but otherwise pretty sporty, always played a lot of sport from super young age all the way up till when I was 18 at sort of my secondary school, which obviously then graduated and whatever. And then went to uni. So
uni. What did you study in university?
So this is what I was actually going to get into because to your point of like do you need marketing experience to get into e-commerce, all this side of thing. Like I studied geography. So
okay,
I mean
that's not very on par with econ.
I know. It's a bit of a funny one to be fair because geography. I mean it gets a bit of a bad rep at times. But I don't know if it's similar in Australia, but if you don't really know what you want to do or don't have like a speciality, when you're, at uni or aiming to graduate, like being a doctor or I don't know, being a vet or a lawyer, whatever, then you kind of, or at least a lot of my friends and myself like did this, you kind of just take a middle of the roady type degree.
So geography.
You
don't want to be a doctor, you do geography.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the thing. I think the way I always describe it actually is, I think it doesn't close too many doors, but it obviously doesn't like open like specific doors. So, as I say, if you study medicine, cool, you'll go into
it's very specific with what you're going to do.
Time. Whereas I wanted to go to uni, obviously the social aspect, wanted to get a degree under my belt. Geography's pretty.
And you achieved that, by the way. You got your bachelor or?
Just got a Bachelor of Arts in geography.
Amazing, man. Well done.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, just got like a 2-1, which is like a pretty. You got first, and then you got 2-1, and then like 2-2 and a third and stuff. So I think you're happy with the 2-1. I certainly was. Did a year out in between school and then uni. Did a bit of traveling. I think probably got the bug a bit there, and that's why I'm sure we'll talk about that in a bit. But
that's why you wanted freedom.
Yeah, so I mean, to be honest, that's a pretty accurate kind of. That's pretty true. So. I did a year out. Went to Newcastle Uni, which is a city up north, super fun kind of. Northern sort of social party sort of city. So
you had a good time there?
Yeah,
created some nice memories.
Yeah, great time. So that was 3 years. It was it's one of the unis sort of furthest away from home I could sort of possibly go, which was kind of a bit of a blessing and a curse maybe, but it was just nice to sort of get away and just have my own sort of I guess like a sort of new university life up there, which was awesome.
And why was it a curse?
I mean, I say a curse. I mean, I don't necessarily think.
What were the pros and cons? So pros, you're fresh away. Yeah. What would you say that
pros?
The struggles?
Yeah, pros definitely that. Like a brand new city. I spent a lot of time in London and down south. I think the north of England is quite different to the south of England.
Okay.
So that was definitely something. Yeah, it was just really cool to I guess be involved in such an awesome, and it's a beautiful city, Newcastle. It's amazing. And then cons. I don't know. I mean, my mind takes me to. My dad organised like a surprise birthday for my mum, and to get home it took me, it was either a 8-hour train or 6-hour train that costs 300 quid in the UK anyway.
No, but hold on.
Yeah.
So this is because I knew you were going to say the con was being away from family, because I know how much you love your family and you're a family man. Because obviously we've spoken prior to this, but also even just having an issue with something that costs 300 quid.
Yeah.
Think about what you just said.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I mean, look, it's different because, being a student as well, like not just obviously a freedom student, but being like a university student, like, you've got no real sort of income and the whole like student life is kind of, eating pot noodles and, just, not really.
Did you end up making the surprise birthday?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, very much so. Yeah. So,
thank God. Cool.
yeah, that was good. I mean, it's a little con that, but it was, it was a bit of a hassle to actually, I might have flown that time actually, but even that, like having to fly home just to get back it was one night.
And yeah, well, there we go. You had to distract yourself from your study. You had to spend money. What's, I know that you're still a humble man, but like now 300 quid for a train or a plane ride, like it's not too hard for you to do now, right?
No, yeah, I don't want to sit here too smug at all, but yeah, I mean,
it is what it is. And you know what, bro? Anyone watching is going to be celebrating your wins, like eating noodles at university, scared of a 300 quid thing. And now, I think that's something to, to contemplate and to really give yourself credit, man. Like that's really amazing.
Yeah. No, thanks, mate. Yeah, appreciate it.
That's all right, brother. So we've spoken about study, university. Let's talk about work. So what sort of jobs did you have prior to getting into e-commerce?
Yeah. There's a bit to unpack here actually.
Hit us, bro. That's why we're here, man. Let's unpack.
Yeah. I think it's more. Well, I'll get onto the Australia sort of Melbourne piece. That's obviously why I moved there for a year, etc. But as I say, I'll touch on that in a sec. But yeah, so graduated university in Newcastle. Did what everyone sort of tends to do in the UK, or a lot of people do, is move to London, get like their graduate job on like a starting salary, and I just started the kind of the nine to five
typical thing.
Yeah, the typical 9 to 5 life, which at the time was great. I worked for a little tech startup called Sharesy. Shout out former employees, Sharesy. But they were great. Like we were a small team. I think I was the 6th or 7th employee at the time.
Okay.
Again, wasn't like a specialty role.
What did you do for them?
So I started in sales.
Okay.
I was actually their first sales rep in the team. But I mean, I think
sales guy.
Not at all. Actually, I don't think it's my forte at all.
Okay.
I've since obviously come to realize that anyway. But joined as a sales rep. But I think being in a startup, you often wear like lots of different hats. So I wasn't sort of just confined to just sales. It was kind of marketing, sort of customer facing roles, which was great. But it was I was doing that for 2 years in London. And it got to a point where I think I went on holiday earlier that year.
Okay.
And I think the penny kind of dropped then. It was just a moment of thinking like, I just don't want to stay in the sort of the London bubble, the kind of.
Was it like the violent comparison of the 9 to 5 and then traveling, and you're like, this is so different.
I think so. I think it didn't help that I remember we went somewhere pretty hot, and it was middle of February, and obviously in the UK that's not the loveliest time. So I think it was kind of from the moment I started looking at, I don't know, just kind of options and looking to see what's out there to maybe do, because I blinked and I'd already done 2 years in London. I started the job when I was, I think, 21 or 22, and then I was already 24 all of a sudden, or 23, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I just thought, that time's gone way too quick. I don't want to just be getting on the underground, the tube every day.
Yeah.
So I just thought, I'd look at some other options and see what else was out there. So yeah, that kind of instigated my desire to at least try Australia. I would be lying if I said I didn't have like this thought before, maybe a few years ago. I play quite a lot of cricket back home. Yeah, which I know you guys like, and
it's massive in Australia.
In Australia, we've actually we've timed it so well that the Ashes is currently on, and
Oh, so that's why you're so cheery.
Yeah, I'm not actually. It wasn't a good start this morning.
Oh no, okay.
But yeah, so play a lot of cricket, and I've always wanted to like sort of play overseas, or at least try my hand overseas. So yeah, I guess I kind of picked up that idea again. And yeah, got myself sorted with a move over to Melbourne. Moved out there for what was meant to be a season, but then ended up sort of being closer to a year.
Okay, so just quickly on that, just to quickly recap so far, because what I know about you in relation to just your work ethic is that you've always been a hard worker, right? You've always had that. You also worked out that you wanted a change in your life, but before going into another business avenue, you just decided, look, I love cricket. I want to move to Australia, which is a big move, moving countries across the pond, as they say. Yeah. So you're now in Australia, but you didn't go into your typical role, right? Like you didn't go back into sales.
Yeah. So correct. No, yeah. Probably important to clarify this. So yeah, it wasn't sort of like a career move as such. I was 23 at the time. And I just thought, if there is a time to travel, it kind of is now before I get sort of more tied into whether it was, my employment in the UK or whatever it was, or further sort of, bigger like life commitments.
Yeah, so, like having, down the track, wife, children, I mean.
I mean, all of the above. So I thought, we'll go do this now. I managed to get my housemate interested as well and involved. He's not a cricketer, but.
So you moved to...
I moved to Melbourne with one of my closest mates.
Cool, man.
So he was also there for the whole freedom journey. So some funny stories on that actually that we'll talk about later. But
keen.
So we sort of up sticks, moved out there. Got set up in Melbourne. Started playing cricket out there, and as I say, it wasn't a career move at all. It was more, let's just try our hand at this. We had like a working holiday visa.
So it's a lifestyle move almost.
Yeah, I think big time, and just like just to shake things up a bit. London's not going anywhere. I've got all my mates are over there. My family in the UK as well. So just a bit of a change, as I say, like at this age or at that age, like it made sense to sort of take that risk.
Yeah, but I was going to say already as well. So you're a bit of you're a risk taker, man. Because even like how sometimes when we do things in life, we think that if we compare ourselves to others, we think, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But already you're someone who's just taking a risk. Yeah. And for some people, man, leaving their hometown, going to another country, it's it's certainly. I don't want to sound like I'm sort of, speaking from preaching from the choir or to the choir, whatever. But yeah, I mean, like, the risk was, obviously it was quite big. It would have been comfortable to obviously stay in London where all my mates were in, the kind of pretty stable job, and sort of try to build my career from there. So yeah, I mean, I say now to this day, like, the two best decisions I've made is one, starting Freedom, and then second, shout out Freedom, but I wasn't paid to say that. He's here his own free will,
yeah, big time. So it was starting Freedom and actually moving to Australia, and I would actually put, the only reason I'd put moving to Australia maybe above starting Freedom is because I wouldn't have started Freedom had I not moved to Australia. So
I want to touch on that. Okay, so I want to hear about the job you were doing before Freedom Club, because that's really cool.
Yeah.
Before that, so originally when we launched the Freedom Club, we were only advertising to Australians, okay? Now we advertise to the UK and to New Zealand as well. We have clients all around the world, but that's where our advertising spend goes. Now, Jamie is from the UK, but because he just took the risk and went to Australia, he saw a Freedom Club ad, and that's how he got into it. So that's interesting in itself, because if you're in the UK at that time, you wouldn't have seen our ad.
Yeah, and also I wouldn't have been, looking for some form of, I guess, employment or a job or.
Okay, so what were you doing for work, bro? Like before the Freedom Club?
Yeah, no, it's another really good question that has a fair bit to it. Where when we first moved out, as I say, myself and Will, we kind of looked.
His name's Will?
His name's Will as well. Sorry, yeah.
Mate, everything happens for a reason. Let's go. Two Wills. Okay.
So we were kind of looking for anything really. I remember. Will started working at like a butcher's, working in the office above where the actual sort of butchering was taking place. So
does that mean you get cheap meat though?
So we got cheap meat.
Let's go.
At the peak of summer, it meant this like stench of meat would just like go up. Anyway, so he'd be spending that all day in the office, and I was trying everything. I was handing in like my CV or my resume, to restaurants or bars or cafes, sort of everywhere.
But even just right now, man, you go from corporate job, 9 to 5, with all your mates, and now you're in Australia handing out CVs to cafes, to restaurants. So it's a shift, right?
Yeah, big time. It was, a big shift, bit of a learning curve. Felt we were chucked in the deep end a little bit. We had landed out of Melbourne with no connections to work or income at all, and we needed something to sort of come through pretty quickly. So I started my first proper job that I started out there was, there's like charity like reps in like shopping malls.
Oh my bro, that's tough.
Don't.
That's tough. Like for the lifeguards and stuff, and good on them.
Mate, ever since I have to donate every time I get approached now.
Yeah, because you know how it feels.
I'm literally like, guys, I know how brutal, how tough this is. That,
God bless you.
Good for you guys. So I did that for. If I'm honest, I'd be lucky to say a week. I think it was honestly like 5 days.
Yeah,
like 4 days. Because it was brutal. It was really, really hard. I mean, the money was okay, but you ended up sort of, you had to. I don't say you had to be rude, but like there was sometimes you had to get in people's faces that just didn't want to be, they didn't want to be disturbed. And like understandably,
very confrontational, isn't it?
Big time. And a few people on my team, albeit I was only in it for a short time, were but yeah, they got in a few like, I don't say tussles, but a few like, confrontations where I was like, this just isn't really for me. And maybe that goes back to the sales point of, starting in sales. I don't think that's, really my thing anymore.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So yeah, tried that for a bit, realized that it just wasn't to be. It was, incredibly grueling, really hard work.
Yeah.
And just, just not my cup of tea. I don't think I was sort of maybe thick-skinned enough to do it. I don't know.
Okay, fair. Well, you think everyone's thick-skinned in different ways, man,
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that just wasn't to be. And then I went back to my sort of catering, hospitality roots that I used to do when I was, on my university summers or whatever.
Okay, it's familiar. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I started working for a catering company in Melbourne called Devour It Catering. If anyone ever needs food or drink at any parties in Melbourne, go to Devour It Catering.
Okay, so you've obviously left them with a good
yeah,
relationship.
I mean, they're amazing.
That's very nice
and
of you.
I'll get onto it in a sec.
Okay,
But
okay.
they're amazing. Like, they took me in straight away. I said, I've got an experience in catering back home, looking if you've got any sort of vacancies, and they said for sure. So yeah, I basically just started going around to, people's private homes or wedding venues.
Oh,
and,
cool.
With the team and just like serving drinks and canapes and it was great. It meant, I could explore a lot of Melbourne as well, meet a lot of people, see
cool.
a different side of Melbourne, which is cool, whether it was like, corporate events or
Yeah.
private parties and things. And then, yeah, money was kind of tight. So I asked for some extra shifts, and that's where they took me in the kitchen.
Okay.
And, instead of just being sort of customer facing front of house, it became more of, sort of late nights, like scrubbing dishes. So yeah, I kind of went from, that's kind of where freedom came in. But yeah, so I was scrubbing dishes at the catering company while I was building my store. And I remember like checking my phone every few hours being like, have I got a sale? Yeah, it was kind of I don't want to say a rags to riches story because that wouldn't be fair. But, and then, so I just went from scrubbing dishes at the catering company to 20K a month sort of profit now.
And that's pounds, right?
That's pounds.
So from scrubbing dishes to now earning 40,000 Australian dollars a month, 10,000 Australian dollars a week after scrubbing dishes. That's pretty cool, man. Like that's
it's cool. I mean, yeah, as I say, yeah, it's it definitely took a, it was a big decision at the time. So my friend Will, he'd actually booked his flight back to the UK.
Oh, as in like calling it quits on the trip?
Yeah, was kind of just done with it. But fair enough, not done with it, but was kind of ready to go home now and actually find a proper job again, as opposed to working in a butcher's or whatever it was. So he made that cool, and that was when I started looking for ways to kind of, I don't know, keep my travels going or just find a way to sort of work for myself and make money online, really. And then
that's when you found.
That's where I found freedom. Yeah.
Okay, Freedom Club, let's go. And then, so tell me about the feeling when you joined. How was the whole journey?
Yeah, it was, if I'm honest, it feels so long ago now, but it was a pretty crazy time in my life. It was, so Will obviously was going to go home. I didn't have any plans necessarily to go back to the UK, and just broke up with my girlfriend at the time. And I was just really keen to make this work. So,
but big things happen in your life at the moment, man.
Yeah, I think big time. So it was kind of a case of like jumping all in and just needing to make this work more than anything. It was kind of it was less of a side hustle as I had another job, or it was less of a kind of let's just try my hand, see if it works. So be it, and if not, it's okay. But for me, it was like, no, this thing has to run now. Like I need to make this work so I can, as I say, like continue my traveling, or I guess just like find like a means of income sort of sustainably.
Jamie, mate, look, that gives me goosebumps, honestly, because I like to find these little golden nuggets as you speak, right? And the thing is it is very common and popular, not just with the students I've interviewed. We've got hundreds of successful students. Like I'm talking hundreds of people that have completely changed their lives. Not everyone wants to get on camera. That's why you don't see them all. Yeah. My point is you were at a time where you didn't have a plan B. You had to make this work. Right? You had to. And the thing is when you have to make something work and you really commit to it, that's when people find success. If you go, oh, you know what, I could do this, maybe I could do this, It's like, I feel like that the human brain and just the human mentality, when you're pushed against the wall, even just that little bit, that's when you thrive or you fail. And the thing is if you can get past the roadblocks, you literally thrive. And I'm not just like talking out of my bum here. Like everyone has a very similar thing where it's like, hey, I had no other option. I had to make this successful.
So I think, on that, I think that's definitely one thing I've like come to realize, I guess, from my experiences. But I think also added to that, like the other sort of angle in which I look at things is like you actually only achieve these things if you do take that risk. Yeah. And, it's obviously easy to say that. And, now from, my, from the position I'm in, but
Of course.
but like genuinely, like in hindsight, I was only here because I guess, I'm only here because I took that risk on freedom. But I remember at the time I was ebbing and flowing with, deciding whether to go for it or not. I spoke to Hayden, I think it was at the time.
Yeah. Hayden's he's still with us.
Yeah. I think in your sales team or something. So,
Yeah.
And I think honestly, I think I pissed him off like crazy. I was calling him quite like every day, every other day, just trying to get more information about the course.
Yeah.
Working out like, is this thing like legit? Like,
I get your process. I get how you are. I'm starting to work you out.
Yeah, I think.
I respect it. I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, all those things, and just trying to gauge exactly sort of, I guess how legitimate this course is. There's obviously a lot of stuff out there that. These courses, get rich quick schemes, or join my Forex trading course, all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And don't I'd be lying if I said I wasn't thinking about these things as well at the time.
I was going to say, so how legitimate is Freedom Club now?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, it's been amazing, and of course incredibly legit. And it's an amazing, I guess, service, community, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
platform.
Bro, we really do put our heart and souls into it, man. We genuinely care. Like, because of Freedom Club, man, I can sit here and chat with you. And now I'm sure we're going to become friends, and it's like
paddle partners.
Yeah. Like, that's so cool, man. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So how long did it take you in the Freedom Club before you started finding success? Because I know some people, it happens really quickly.
Yeah.
So how long was it for you?
Yeah, it's a funny one, this, and I actually feel, I don't say like a bit smug about this, but I know a lot of people, it takes a bit of time. Like, they might try 2, 3, 4 different products before they find one that sticks and the one that runs.
Yeah.
And luckily for me, it was my first product that kind of hit the ground running. So as I say, incredibly fortunate. It was, as I say, I think you kind of make your own luck a little bit at times.
I know you're being really humble.
Yeah.
The thing is, man, you deserve credit. You really do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, thanks, mate. It's, it was certainly a really interesting, I guess, time in my life. It was, I remember.
Well, sorry, mate, just quickly, how long did it actually take you? Like weeks, months?
Yeah. So
I'm just curious. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, not at all. Not at all. So it took me, I remember I signed up on, I registered my UK limited company on the 28th of February. And then.
What year is this?
This is 24, so last year.
Yeah.
So nearly 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And then got my store up and running on, I think it was the 1st or 2nd of April. And then got my first sale on the 4th of April.
Bro, how good's the feeling, bro? When you get a Shopify, the notification comes up, and you're just like...
Yeah, so it's such a funny one, this. I remember it's like obviously incredibly well. It's the only time I regret having my phone on like Do Not Disturb. Because it helped me. I mean, it helped me a lot, like obviously like building the store, and I tend to just have it for, I guess, distractions or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had it on Do Not Disturb, but obviously the Shopify notification is like cha-ching.
Yeah. Oh, you missed it.
And I missed it. But
no,
for me, it was, I remember I was just chilling in Will's room in Melbourne, obviously one of my housemates. And I remember, I think for GDPR reasons, I probably can't repeat the name of who bought my, who placed my first order. But I remember it very clearly. I remember the name, the place I was sending the product to.
Oh, wow.
So it came through at about 11 p.m. Melbourne time on the 4th of April.
I'm feeling this deep, bro. It's just monumental.
I hit the roof, I literally hit the roof, and I just jumped on Will, bless him, and ran downstairs, and I saw a couple other housemates and just went crazy.
I would have paid to watch that.
Yeah, it was crazy. I feel like if I could bottle one feeling, I think it would probably be that. I think also just, it wasn't just, the kind of like need for this thing to work. It was, the hard work that got into it as well. When I wasn't working at catering, on the catering side of things and scrubbing dishes or serving champagne or whatever, I was just working in my room. And
now you're drinking champagne whenever you want, baby.
Yeah, we wouldn't necessarily go that far, but no. You're not wrong. But so yeah, it was just I was working. Lots of people take a different amount of time to get things set up in freedom. Understandably so. People are, like mothers or fathers, got families to look after.
Less time to, of course.
People have 9 to 5 corporate jobs or even longer hours. So it was hard. So for me, I was lucky. I had a bit of time when, if I was working evening shifts, I would just spend the morning in a cafe, or if I was doing day shifts at various sort of events, I would then just stay up late at night.
But that still tells everyone though that it's possible. I mean, you were still working, bro, and you found the time and you made it work.
Yeah.
So basically, started in Feb, you launched in April, I think it was. And then, so that's basically 2 months roundabout.
Yeah, it was about a month actually. It was the 28th of Feb I launched on the 1st or 2nd of April.
Okay, so just March. Okay,
yeah,
basically.
Yeah.
And you started finding success straight away from the first sale? I know we spoke about the first sale feeling, but then your momentum started pretty quick for you?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, fortunately so. So yeah, I remember when we first launched and like the initial sort of raw like metrics and the data was pretty good. Like a few of our ads they had like pretty high like click-through rates. And we weren't spending too much on like impressions and things.
Can you explain click-through rate for some listeners that might not understand it?
Yeah, of course. So,
thank you, brother.
It's basically just a metric that kind of defines, like how many people that see your ad, like how many people click your ad after they see it. So, say 100 people see your ad and 3 people click it, then obviously you got a click-through rate of 3%. So.
And just on that, so Jamie, I'm assuming you had no knowledge of this stuff before ecom.
No.
And the thing is, listen to him. He sounds like an expert, and he knew nothing about this before he started. So I mean, that's pretty cool, bro. Like you are an expert now.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to think of obviously I've gained a lot of info and sort of learnings, but as I say, I mean, a lot of it's just been kind of learning on the job.
Okay.
And I mean, obviously, freedom, what you guys offer and have set up is nothing short of like incredible.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
It taught me, went from obviously zero knowledge in the e-com space. As I say, I was weighing up Forex trading or e-com or whatever. I had no idea what to do.
Yeah.
So then obviously being able to build a store, run a store and, run a store profitably for the last basically 2 years. And that's all because of the framework that Freedom obviously has to offer.
Oh, well, I'm glad you joined us, man. I'm glad it's changed your life. And again, you're bringing value to our life too, man. And I'm just happy you're here chatting with me. I want to know, bro. So we're talking about success a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I know you started off on a really good foot. You found success early. What were some struggles or roadblocks that even you faced during your journey?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Or even the biggest one, if one stands out.
Yeah. I think. In terms of roadblocks, if I'm honest, I mean initially things kind of flew out of the traps. I got pretty fortunate with obviously my initial performance. I think, and this might sound, I mean, this will sound kind of insane, but my biggest roadblock was actually later that summer, so obviously April into kind of July or August.
Yeah, okay.
And that was just my suppliers being out of stock. So I had to kind of bounce around.
Great problem to have, but nonetheless, it's a problem.
Yeah, big time. I mean, it's a funny one really because I mean, you're a victim of your own success kind of in that respect when it comes to something like this because we were generating quite a lot of orders and the suppliers couldn't really I guess keep up. There was actually a time where we'd be using like a temporary sort of plug-in supplier that was able to obviously, I mean, abide by all the specs and things that we needed. And he actually got in touch and just said like, we've heard like, you're kind of, I don't say moving mountains, but you're making a bit of an impact on the industry and lots of sort of suppliers are struggling with keeping up with your demand. So that was definitely, that was definitely, I would say, the biggest struggle. And I think the hardest thing about that is, I know you say it's a good problem to have and I completely agree. It's so difficult to kind of accept that, you're spending all this amount on ads and your store's up and running and, you got your customer support team, whatever it is, like all systems are firing. And then the one thing that's letting you down is something that you just, I guess, never foresee or perhaps when I started, never really foresaw. But obviously becomes such if you don't have any stock, like, you're cooked, like, there's not a lot you can do. So that was definitely, we had to pivot quite hard and things there and scale down and things like that.
So first of all, I think what makes that really difficult is it's a roadblock that you're facing that you're not in control of because everything so far on your journey, it's like what you put in, you get out. When you face a roadblock like that, where it's not in your control, it's quite challenging because it's like, I can't click my fingers and fix this. I just want to say, because this is probably good timing. So what we teach originally in Freedom Club is e-commerce dropshipping. Now, dropshipping is just logistics. It's fulfillment. When a customer buys your product, you don't actually purchase the product from the supplier or the manufacturer until after the fact. Then it gets delivered to the customer, okay? Now, the good thing about this is you don't have to buy massive amounts of stock. So it's really low risk. Now, I'll let Jamie explain what he's doing now. But the thing with the Freedom Club, what's amazing is we teach people dropshipping because it's the easiest way to make money quick with low risk. But once you start making money, and you start facing like supply issues, then you can move the business to the next step. And that's, I guess, part of why you moved.
Yeah, so obviously with those issues that I say are kind of good issues to have, obviously requires you to, I guess, like pivot a little bit, change, restructure, find ways obviously around that. So yeah, we now handle our own fulfillment. We now handle our own fulfillment. So we have sort of autonomy over our own stock levels and inventory levels, so we can kind of forecast a bit more accurately. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's so awesome about the Freedom Club community is you can start with drop shipping, and then you can go, as your store progresses, you can go into completely new avenues, and then you just scale and scale and scale from there. So it's really exciting. Okay, so mate, I know we said a little bit of a teaser about your results. I just want to go into as much detail as possible, numbers, talk about pounds, then translate it to Aussie dollars. Normally it's about double. Tell me about, the biggest days, the weeks, the months, let's talk money. I know it's not all about that, but it's so exciting for people to hear your story and then realizing this is money going into his bank account that's completely changed his life.
Yeah, big time. That's definitely true, the sort of life-changing aspect of it. So yeah, in terms of, I guess like finances, yes, as I say, we started off pretty well in April. Obviously we launched on the 1st or 2nd, got our first sale on the 4th. And then from there, we kind of never really looked back. I don't think we actually had an unprofitable day or even like a break-even day for I think it was like the next sort of 6 months or so. So
amazing, bro.
It was amazing. We just managed all our creatives pretty well. We tested, iterated as much as we could just to kind of maintain performance. And obviously with that, you kind of see the success that sort of comes with it. So yeah, so we got sort of proof of concepts in April. In May, things were looking pretty good. Like our ad spend, I think we were spending 500 quid a day on ads at the time, like returning a ROAS it was pretty high, of kind of like 5, sometimes even 6, which was amazing.
And just so you all know, he's spending 500 quid a day, which is 1,000 Aussie. But as you start scaling, you're spending these big amounts on ads, but you're getting a 5 ROAS means 5x what he's spending. So he's getting that back 5-fold. So it's not like you're investing all this money on your ads and nothing's returning. Yeah. You're spending 1,000, getting 5,000 back, and then the next day starts. So
yeah. So that's kind of where we were in sort of April, May. Got to the point in May actually when I called my brother and said, look, mate, like we should, let's go to Bali for a bit. So I don't want to say I was sort of running before I could walk, but we had proof of concept. I was obviously able to now take this kind of remotely.
What were you earning at this stage now? What were you paying yourself a week right now?
Yeah, it's difficult because we try to stay not compliant with like UK kind of like income tax sort of regulations. But yeah, the business itself was generating in May. It generated just shy of about 20k GB profit. Yeah,
so $40,000 and you're just getting started, man.
Yeah, which was awesome. And then
now you're planning trips to Bali and is this not? It's pretty
it's
crazy.
It's one of those
you're
things.
You're washing dishes in Australia. You get into e-com. Now you're making these massive amounts of money. You're planning trips to Bali. Let's go.
Yeah, no, it's a pretty special kind of journey. But yeah, from May, never looked back. June, July, ended up going back to London for a little bit in July, which, as I think I mentioned earlier, was by far our sort of most profitable month. For a number of reasons, really. I think actually I had a call with Chris, one of the coaches in the course. I actually won one of those spin the wheel things.
We try to engage and bless everyone as much as we can in the community. Yeah, we do giveaways. So we spin a wheel and you can win $1,000 on ad spend or whatever. Yeah. We try to be as generous as we can.
Yeah. I think honestly, I was probably one of the luckiest sort of winners. I won like a brand new MacBook. I got a call with Chris and then a bit of budget for ad spend or something.
Yeah, wow, you should go buy a lotto ticket or something.
Mate, I say I genuinely just forever in debt to freedom. You just like the gift that kept giving for me, really. So yeah, it was actually the call with Chris that he encouraged us some really aggressive scaling. So it was the end of June, and we ended up just pumping more and more cash behind our sort of creatives on Meta in particular. We got to the point we were spending sort of £4,000 or £5,000 a day on Meta.
Wow,
which is kind of it was insane. And I think at the time we also didn't really have the systems or the sort of infrastructure of the business to kind of maintain that kind of level of scale. So yeah, so we kind of rode that wave in July, all hands on deck, the customer support team, we were working kind of, sort of long 10, 12, 14 hour days. Yeah. But obviously in return, we were sort of obviously seeing these big numbers. So yeah, July 2024 was our best month. It actually contributed to, it was about about a third of our sort of yearly profit in year one. So, I don't
Yeah,
want to
wow.
say, I don't want to be, not every month is
it's
quite
cool.
like that. But of course, still it was an amazing month. And then from there, we got a bit trigger happy with the scaling. So we decided to dial things down a bit, sort of, build like the building blocks from sort of internally to really bolster, I guess, like the business and yeah.
Okay, mate. So your results are just absolutely incredible. And I'm excited. I want to hear about your future plans. That's my second last question very soon. Because I'm just excited to hear about what's going to happen now with your life.
Yeah.
What is some advice that you would just give to these people and remember, these are human beings. They're probably struggling because we all struggle. Life's difficult.
Yeah.
What would you say to them that might help them get into e-com or help them find success? Just whatever comes from the heart, brother, whatever you think.
Yes, it's a good question and something I thought you might have asked today. I don't think I'm in, obviously what I've done in the last 2 years. I'm obviously from a place where I've got a bit of experience now, but I struggle thinking I'm like the guy to go to for advice with these things. But all I can say is, if you are umming and ahhing about freedom, it was the best decision I've ever made. Giving me not only the sort of financial freedom that it does at the moment, but also, being able to work for yourself, be your own boss, travel the world, whatever you want, whatever sort of you desire, it kind of, can give you that lifestyle. So I think, if you are umming and ahhing, I think, you only really achieve sort of, only sort of like really move the needle in your life if you do take risks like this, which, I'm lucky to say from my own experience. So I would say if you are thinking about it, just you got to give it a go.
Thank you, brother. I just want to hug you right now, but I don't want to muck up the mics. But it's just I'll hug you after. I appreciate it, bro. I'm happy that we could have been a part of your journey, and anyone else who joins. Yeah, we love what we do. We love building brands, and we also love helping people. Sounds cliche, it's actually true.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you, bro. Thank you for giving those tips to everyone. I'm certain that there's someone watching this video that you've just changed their life. So yeah, man, just tell us now your future plans.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things kind of up in the air at the moment. Obviously relocated to Dubai at the beginning of the year, so I'm spending a bit of time here every year. As for the business, we got some. It's pretty exciting, to be honest, at the moment. Obviously had a big Black Friday recently. Q4 is looking pretty good. Really excited for what's to come, obviously in the short term. And then sort of medium, long term side of things. Yeah, really excited. Some things that I would love to share, but I don't think I can right now. But
bit early. Okay, no, that's all right.
Bit early, but the actual the foundation of what Freedom obviously like provided me. So like the actual store itself and everything in that side of thing is flying. With some as I say some big plans on taking it to the next level.
So, firstly, I'd just like to say to whoever's watching, thank you so much for listening. I really, really hope that this has changed your life and helped you in some way. And Jamie, mate, you're here on your own free will. You're not getting anything out of this besides the fact that you can help me promote my business and also help other people that are listening. So, man, I'm sure everyone's so grateful. I'm so grateful. My business partners, Josh and Austin, are grateful. So, brother, from the bottom of my heart and their hearts, hopefully, thank you, bro. Thank you very much.
Mate, not at all. As I say, I feel forever in debt to Freedom. So, mate, the least I could do. Really enjoyed it, mate. Really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see you in the next Success Stories episode. For now, goodbye. Take care. God bless you, and see you next time.
Nice one.